Okay, we're just going to work on some rigging. In one of my previous videos, I showed you a rigging mod, and all it basically was using a tenna tube to provide a consistent distance when tying off the sails. Okay, so on this one here, I'm going to just show you something that someone else has posted, and it's just a different way of doing it. Some might find it easier to do it this way than others, but I'll leave that up to you guys. But I'll show you this other method, and you can use it for tying the rest of your sails, or use my other method. Okay, so what this other method is basically is you cut your wire out. Okay, and all you're doing is creating a knot at the base there. So you're just going to tie off a bit of a knot. Like that. Okay, and then you're going to go to your mast, or in this case the boom, and you're just going to tie off another knot. So I suppose they both take approximately the same amount of time. They probably provide the same amount of consistency. It's really up to you guys what you like to do. So I'll just kind of tie that off. Okay. And on all my crucial knots, I like to make sure there's a little bit of CA to help hold it in place. So I'm just going to put a little bit on there. Okay, that's all it needs. Just to hold it in place, and I'll cut off some of the excess. Alright, so there you have it. So that's the other way that I've seen people do it. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I do when it comes to this part of the sail, though, connection. And so I'll just grab this. The string that I'm using is actually from a kite shop. It's nice heavy-duty stuff. Doesn't expand much at all, and is waterproof still. So that's what I've been using for my string. So let's get the string through here. There's my trusty wire. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, instead of actually, in the instructions it calls to basically tie this off, and then you feed it through one end of this top hole, and it comes down here, and then it connects onto here. And then this piece of tubing here helps you adjust the tension of that. The thing with me is I like to keep everything centered. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be threading back and forth this part of it. So I'm going to keep that center by putting one end of the string through this side and this part of the string through this side, and just kind of weaving through the holes until it connects here. Okay, so I'll show you what it's going to eventually look like here. create my little wire loop thing here. It's a little tricky. This particular line is actually a lot more slipperier to work with, which is part of the reason why I like it for sheeting line. So creating my loop, my string in there. Alright, so that's that side. Now I'm going to do the same from this side. And just be careful you're not putting the same line through. That'd be kind of pointless. Alright, so that's the other side of that. Okay, so you see there, it's got kind of a loop thing so that when you tighten it, it's on center with the boom. Whereas if, let's just say you had it on a loop and you picked one side, well, that's about 1 millimeter there. So it could be 1 millimeter off. Like, I mean, who knows if it makes a difference or not, but maybe it's just me being a little too anal about it, maybe. I'm not sure. So I'm just going to finish this off here. So use my little trusty little wire and get this through here. That side. I'm going to push it through here and get the other side. So now I have it back and forth. Okay, and I'm going to do the same, and the nice thing is you just have to do it to the one side. This one gets a little bit tighter to do. Okay, it looks like we're pretty well done here. We went through all sorts of different kind of build tips and things to make your Dragon Force stronger. Just going to go through a couple of final things to kind of maybe help you guys out. There's a Brunel boat with the fast sails, and you can see where I've done the weaving through there to center attachment point there. I did the same to the jib. Over here I've used a swivel, and I've measured a set of wire to do that attachment there. In the original instructions there is an adjustment there, and I just find that I always left it anyway, so I never really adjusted it, and it's really finicky adjustment anyways. I know that if you can bring it down a little lower, you'll get a lot of air coming off of the front of the nose there, and it would make you faster. So I might tinker with that. One of my ideas was to have a line that came down this way, and maybe the attachment in deck I4, it looks like there, or deck I3. I know in the new boats what they've done is they've actually moved this point here to there. That's a rumor anyways, sorry. Okay, so there you have it. There's my new boat. You notice I'm calling this one Bad Beat. Tell by the aces and the snake eyes. Those are decals from a 1/10 scale touring car, drift car. And basically I sprayed on a little bit of water and squeegeed them on. So they stick pretty well. I've had the boat in salt water quite a few times now, and they haven't come off. So, and it looks pretty sharp out there once you see the hieroglyphic stuff there. Okay, some of the other things I've done there, I've gone to a see-through hatch, and I've mounted my Life battery to the front, right beside the keel there. Okay, one of the other things I've also done is I've relocated this plug saver. Originally, in my original build, I had that attached to the on-off switch, and as I found out, if you get tangled up with some boats, it'll turn off your boat. You definitely don't want that happening, especially when you're out on a river chasing it down. So, as I found out the hard way, the best thing to do is attach it to somewhere other than your power switch. I've also gone to a corded backstay, and you can tell by the Boise there, but I've also added another one here. And the reason why I've done that is to allow me to remember where my last adjustment on the buoy was, so the back tension. So it gives me a bit of a starting point that kind of helps me, after I uninstall that, helps me kind of get it back to the original setting. Okay, so there's my Bad Beat boat. I did paint the keel and rudder on there. My Brunel boat is a painted hull and keel, and I even stenciled out the Brunel part. So bit of work. I kind of like this decal job here. Now the paint that I used was this Krylon Color Master, and it's a paint and prime, so you don't have to prime it first, and just make sure you use a bit of Dawn just to clean it all off. All right, another thing I'll share with you guys before we go. One of the things I've done is put a little wind vane here, and all it is I've got a bit of foam from kind of like craft foam, and I taped it onto a antenna tube, and I used some piano wire there to kind of create a bit of an attachment point. So I use my Blenderm tape to secure it, and yeah, it works pretty good. The only thing I'm trying to figure out is whether to actually run a weight along here with it hanging down, and then that way when the boat keels over, this wind vane will stay perpendicular. Anyways, that's something for a future project, but for now anyways, I'm gonna go enjoy this, and hope you enjoyed my videos. Please give me a thumbs up if you did, and if there's anything that you'd like to see done or improved upon or documented, let me know. All right, consumer well, and happy sailing.